Sean Diddy Combs' lawyer, Mark Agnafilo, just filed an appeal for his immediate release. Court documents reveal that Diddy is struggling in prison, from panic attacks and threats to his life to even thoughts of harming himself. In this video, we'll break down everything his lawyer disclosed, including Diddy's own words about 50 Cent and the possibility of a pardon.
A person close to him apparently said, quote, "Spending the holidays behind bars was a nightmare for him." If we're to believe all this, Diddy had a meltdown in his cell and begged the guards to take him to the hospital for observation, but they refused. This same friend or person told the Daily Mail, quote, "He eventually managed to calm himself down with the meditation technique he's been using while he's been behind bars. It took him a few hours of deep breathing and focusing to get out of the bad space he was in, but he finally managed it." This isn't the first time Diddy's mental health has come into question.
Sean Diddy Combs is struggling in prison, and here's why. In recent appeal hearings, his lawyers revealed that he was attacked and nearly killed twice. Gene Deal confirmed the same with sources inside Fort Dix. Diddy believes he's being targeted and that someone is even paying inmates to go after him.
So Diddy is claiming that his throat was nearly in prison. According to Diddy, he was asleep in his cell and he woke up to a man standing over him with a shank at his throat. It's important to understand that this incident was not an attempted murder. If this person wanted to kill Diddy, he never even would have seen it coming until he was bleeding out of his throat. This was a warning, and this was a mark of things to come for Diddy. First off, Diddy is down on a bad charge, and it doesn't matter that it's not like a child charge, it's still a charge, and people in prison, they don't like that. Even though it's a prostitution charge and the that he had transported across state lines were men, it's still a sex beef. That honestly is going to seem even weirder to dudes in there. Also have to keep in mind that Diddy has a lot of money, and they're going to want that money, and they're going to get that money out of him whether he wants them to or not. Also have to keep in mind that Diddy is famous, so if you were the dude who beat up, stabbed, or clap Diddy's cheeks, that gives you a certain amount of clout in prison.
Sean Diddy Combs didn't survive 2 attacks in prison by luck. These weren't random, they were meant to send a message, "We can get to you anytime." His lawyer, Mark Goros, confirmed that some inmates even threatened to assault him. While it could be twisted prison justice for his past actions, the timing makes it suspicious.
I just want to lay this out right now. He is a target. Because they talked about this in court. They said somebody tried to shank him already, and that he is a big target. Are you concerned that Sean Diddy Combs could be sexually assaulted, violently assaulted? Is that a thing? Because based on what was said in court, it feels like a thing.
Yeah, it clearly is a thing. I mean, they're already, and he did not want to make a big deal of it. They already tried to shank him once at the MDC, and that was thwarted. And it happens in prison. I mean, you and I could tick off how many times we are aware of somebody getting seriously injured or killed in prison. And so they're going to have to keep him somewhere that they can keep an eye on him. It would have obviously been better if he had gotten less time and had been at a camp. But he's going to be in a facility where somebody's going to have to, from the BOP, and I think they're well equipped to do it if they can, to keep an eye on him because he is a target.
Sean Diddy Combs' depression is closely tied to 50 Cent. After Diddy's sentencing in October, rumors suggested he might get out early with a pardon from Donald Trump. His lawyers even confirmed Trump spoke directly with him and a pardon was expected soon. But everything changed when 50 Cent's Netflix documentary dropped, revealing damning evidence, tying together Diddy's alleged crimes and exposing his lies.
In coverage, Sean Diddy Combs seeking an immediate release from prison. This week, his attorneys urging a federal appeals court in New York to reverse his conviction on prostitution-related charges or direct the judge to lighten his 4-year sentence. The National News Desk, Jeff Harris, joining us. Diddy's lawyers, Jeff, officially filing that appeal this week. Tell us more about their argument and also the chances it succeeds. What are you hearing?
So Diddy is currently serving that 50-month prison sentence after being found guilty on those prostitution-related charges over the summer. In their appeal filing, his lawyers now arguing the music mogul was treated harshly during sentencing by a federal judge who let evidence surrounding charges that he was actually found not guilty of actually then influence his punishment.
At the same time, 50 Cent contacted Donald Trump to block Diddy's pardon. He also tweeted and posted on Instagram warning that Trump doesn't forget disrespect. While focused on his agenda, Trump might pardon those mistreated, but not Diddy. According to 50 Cent, Diddy had said terrible things about Trump, and he's making sure the president knows exactly how he feels.
50 Cent don't give a damn. He don't give a damn. He literally is saying he's going to reach out to Trump to remind Trump of the things that P. Diddy has said about him for the sole express purposes of making sure that Trump doesn't pardon Diddy in the event that Diddy gets convicted of trafficking and racketeering. That's what 50 Cent is sworn to do. And I got to admit to you, that's wild. Damn, you know you got an enemy there when the man want to go out of his way to contact the president, and clearly he has some kind of inroads where he can get to President Trump so President Trump can hear him. He's basically saying, yo, brother need to go down. Brother need to go down and stay down. That's what he's saying. So if Diddy didn't have enough problems, having 50 Cent on your ass is a problem. That's a problem. That's the only thing I can peel from it at this moment in time. I would love for 50 Cent to tell us what exactly is his disgust with Diddy.
Days after 50 Cent's announcement, the White House confirmed that Donald Trump denied Sean Diddy Combs' pardon request, cutting off his last path to release. TMZ reported Diddy had been bragging to inmates about the pardon and promising to take care of them, essentially trying to buy their loyalty for protection.
I love Diddy. He's a good friend of mine. He's a good guy. I think he's a good guy. I'm going to stick up for him.
Well, not anymore. After more than a year in prison, Diddy has asked the White House for a pardon, and Donald Trump is shutting him down.
I have a lot of people who have asked me for pardons. I haven't seen him. I haven't spoken to him in years.
Yeah, that's according to the president himself, who spoke to the New York Times on Wednesday, explaining the request came in a letter. Details of the alleged letter haven't been divulged. But Trump did say he's not planning to commute the mogul sentence. He didn't say why, but it's a move the president has been thinking about for months. Here's what he told reporters during Diddy's marathon trial in May.
He used to really like me a lot. I don't know. I would certainly look at the facts. If I think somebody was mistreated, whether they like me or don't like me, it wouldn't have any impact.
News of the rejected pardon coming about a month after Diddy's legal team filed to appeal his sentence and conviction.
Sean Diddy Combs is now preparing to spend millions on his own documentary to control the narrative and protect his career. Last month, his sons, Justin and Christian Combs, announced a docu-series with the Zeus Network. The untitled project explores their experiences during their father's federal trial, conviction, and the family fallout, including reactions to media coverage and property raids. A teaser shows the brothers watching trial footage, ending with Justin receiving a prison call from Diddy at Fort Dix.
Diddy Combs' sons, Justin and Christian, are teasing a new docu-series about their family. Justin and Christian King Combs appear in a new trailer released December 28th to Instagram by Zeus Network's founder. In the trailer, Justin and Christian sit on a couch in a screening room while a series of headlines about their father cycle on screen. At the end of the trailer, Justin's phone vibrates and he answers a collect call from the Fort Dix Federal Correctional Institute, where Combs is currently behind bars. No release date for the docuseries is given, though the teaser says viewers can expect it at some point in 2026. Combs shares Justin with ex-Misa Hilton and Christian with the late Kim Porter. The rapper is also dad to 34-year-old son Quincy and daughters Chance, 19, twins Delilah and Jesse, also 19, and Love, who is 3 years old.
Interestingly, Sean Diddy Combs' sons included his prison calls in the documentary, calls that were partly why his appeal was denied.
Well, Sean Diddy Combs facing more time behind bars. His release date pushed back to June of 2028 instead of May of that same year. The news coming after reports of Combs drinking in prison, something he denies, after he was accepted into a rehab program in prison that could have reduced his sentence by up to a year. He's also been accused of making a prohibited three-way phone call from prison.
One of these calls was played by the prosecution during the appeal to show the judge that Sean Diddy Combs hadn't changed. Keep in mind, Diddy knows his calls are recorded, so he speaks in code. This particular call was with his son Christian.
Are you listening to my entertain none of this nonsense and nothing over the phone. I'm gonna need you to get rid of all the leftover pizza boxes. The what? All the boxes
He's talking to Cole,
from the
he's
pizza.
dumb.
All the boxes. Okay. Make sure you recycle the plastic like we talked about. Yeah.
He's
Did
dumb.
Jay reach out yet?
Nah, Pop. He ghosting.
Yeah, watch.
What is this motherfucker doing? These things sweet
You heard him?
because I'm in here. It's
Jay-Z
all
reach
good.
out.
You about to get out on bail.
No, fuck that. Hey, yo, check this out. Need you to reach out to the producer. Let these motherfuckers know there's a release date for that new Netflix movie.
Alright, Pop. It's fucking crazy right now.
You heard him? That's a threat. Keep going. It's going to say some more.
That's it. That was the whole thing.
Oh, it's another part two
There's
to
more
it.
part? Yeah, okay.
The part two to that is, right? Now, you caught that, right? Reach out to the producer. He's talking about
he's talking about recycling pizza boxes.
No, but he said reach
clearly
out.
there's a code
He's
going
talking about
on,
reach
yeah.
out to the producer that and let him know it's going to be a new terms to that Netflix flick. You know, he's talking about something he got on audio, on the video, right?
Yeah.
But he from there he went to like, let him laugh now. We're gonna laugh the loudest later. So I believe we're gonna wake up once he figures out whatever he figures out and accept what he's gonna accept. I think he's holding some things to try to get people to do certain things, whatever that may be. I can't see it being financed just yet, but me and you both know at least 60% of whatever he has going on needs to cut back, should have been cut back to ready and prepare himself for lawsuits and just legal fees and floating.
Sean Diddy Combs seemed unconcerned about getting caught, so confident he'd be released. The prison warden even caught him drinking toilet hooch in his cell, allegedly celebrating a pardon that never came. This was before 50 Cent's documentary dropped, ruining his appeals. Drinking is a major violation, and Diddy's willingness to risk it shows just how sure he was about that pardon.
So, like I said, these people that usually do make it are very good at it, and they actually charge to make it. So in prison, in federal prison, everything's a business. So he probably paid somebody to actually hold that in their cell and make it for his birthday. I guess it was his birthday that came up, and they will make this alcohol beverage for you. But what's confusing to me is that when you're in the feds, usually there's a crooked CO that'll just bring you in an actual bottle of vodka. So I don't know why they even made it.
Serious?
Yes.
Dang. Okay.
Yes.
So the whole thing you just said about them selling the toilet wine, I feel like Diddy wouldn't have to buy it. There'd be a lot of people who'd want to be friends with Diddy, and they'd be handing it over. Really?
No, they know how much money he has. Everybody's so happy that he's in the jail right now because they see currency. So all they're doing right now is going up to his cell and trying to sell him everything that they have possible. Actually, trying to get on salary with him to make his bed, clean his cell, go extra shopping for him, extra phone calls, cell phones, anything they can. They're all going to his cell trying to sell something to him because they know he has money. They do it to everybody with money in those jails.
Wow, that's something. Let me quickly read the statement that Diddy's team put out when TMZ broke this news, because they really stopped short of denying it. But this is what they said. Mr. Combs is in his first week at FCI Fort Dix and is focused on adjusting, working on himself, and doing better each day. As with any high-profile individual in a new environment, there will be many rumors and exaggerated stories throughout his time there, most of them untrue. We ask that people give him the benefit of the doubt, the privacy to focus on his personal growth with grace and purpose.
Leaked videos show Sean Diddy Combs inside prison, spending time with inmates and working in the library. He previously worked in the laundry but switched after telling the warden he felt unsafe. With credible threats on his life and possible co-conspirators looking to silence him, Diddy has stayed quiet, though only time will tell how long he can hold out.
We got video of him at Fort Dix reporting for work in the library, where he is making recommendations and handing out different movies and books for his fellow inmates.
I'm really fascinated just by the library itself.
But you're seeing him here. This is him reporting to work, taking off his jacket, taking off his scarf, and settling in for a day on the job.
It looks like a public school library.
Yeah.
This was the chapel, and this is the media library in the chapel, which is where Diddy's currently working. He's working in a Life Connections program, which is an 18-month program that helps rehab people, get them closer to spirituality, to charity groups, and with that, it will shorten his sentence. But in this media library, he helps inmates with religious material, rent out movies, that kind of stuff. You see him pushing a
really
cart
interesting.
with a TV on it.
Yeah, I mean, he was in the laundry room when he first got there.
Yeah,
this got to be
his first
This got to
assignment.
be a promotion.
Yeah.
It feels like a promotion. It feels like maybe he tried the lunchroom and put in a request for something different.
Yeah, it does
I mean,
believe
he is
it.
a
It does
media
sound like
mogul.
he used maybe possibly some connections to get a better job.
50 Cent's documentary did more than destroy Sean Diddy Combs' pardon chances. It also strained his relationship with his lawyers and sparked new potential charges. In the footage, Diddy was secretly recording conversations with his attorneys, who didn't know they were on camera. This revelation, showing Diddy's habit of filming people without consent, seriously damaged his relationship with his legal team, especially with Mark Agnifilo.
Boy, Diddy really screwed over Mark Agnifilo. I gotta say, this is awful that Diddy owes his life to Mark Agnifilo. Literally his life, because he could have gotten life in prison were it not for Mark Agnifilo, his defense lawyer, who had a brilliant strategy. And Diddy screwed him over when he hired this videographer to chronicle his life without telling Mark Agnifilo that when Diddy and Mark were on the phone, this videographer was recording what Mark clearly expected to be an attorney-client privileged relationship. Now, it is true that the client holds that privilege, the lawyer doesn't, but Mark's clear expectation was that this was a private conversation. These were private conversations, and that he and Diddy could talk openly, and Mark could talk to Diddy not just as a client, but as a person, and tried to guide him in a time leading up to his arrest. And unbeknownst to Mark Agnifilo, Diddy has got this guy recording the conversation as he's sitting there saying, "You are screwing this up. You are messing up this case. We're losing." And knowing that that's on tape. And it's almost like he's performing for the camera and not telling Mark what's going on. And the really enraging part about it is that Mark Agnifilo won this case for Diddy with legal strategy. It wasn't just an accident that this jury that had heard all of this in the news before the trial.
This is where Sean Diddy Combs' story turns even darker. 50 Cent's documentary highlighted Diddy's alleged connections to Tupac Shakur and the notorious B.I.G. Interviews and testimonies from people close to the situation, many of whom had refused to speak to police for over 27 years, were included. This renewed interest in the cases, prompting Tupac's family to investigate Diddy's alleged involvement.
Court TV has just confirmed that the family of Tupac Shakur is investigating a potential link between the of Tupac and Sean Diddy Combs. This coming from attorney Alex Spiro, who represents Tupac's family. Now, this investigation had been previously reported by unnamed sources, but earlier today, Spiro confirmed to our Court TV team that he and a team of investigators has been hired.
Sean Combs allegedly had business dealings with Dwayne Keefe D. Davis, who will go on trial next March for the murder of Tupac. This was back in 1996. Some have speculated that Diddy ordered Tupac's death. That, of course, is just a theory at this point, and we are monitoring the developments in both the Tupac murder trial and the federal indictment of Sean Diddy Combs. So a lot of information to come on that one.
Detectives confirmed that if a new investigation is launched, Sean Diddy Combs' sentence could jump from 50 months to life. This is what terrifies him. He may no longer keep his secrets hidden.
Let me ask you this. I get it. When you have a case that's 5 years old, it's hard to get overwhelming evidence that meets the burden of proof beyond a reasonable doubt. When you have cases this old, No matter what Fiddy has found out and put in this documentary, do you see it at all ever possible that Diddy could be involved in a murder trial when it comes to Biggie and Tupac?
It could be possible, yes. However, like I said, they need a lot of corroboration to make that stick, because it's really alleged right now as to his involvement. It's not anything that's substantial or concrete that he was involved. It's personally from people talking about it and saying this is what happened. You need some more information to come forward to prove that.
As we dig deeper, it's clear that those targeting Sean Diddy Combs include people who once worked with him. They're using him as a scapegoat, pinning everything on one person to avoid broader prosecution. Even though dozens were involved, Diddy is being made to take the fall alone.
They did what they needed to do in this documentary. The whole objective of this documentary was to blame it all on Diddy. The devil made me do it, blame it all on Diddy, and the rest of the industry is nothing like this. Like when Curtis Jackson sat there in his interview with Robin and sat there and said, I did this because I don't want people thinking that the hip hop community is okay with this kind of behavior. I don't want them thinking that, we're just going to be silent while all of this is going on. Like, we're okay with this kind of behavior. And my thing is huh? So now you speaking for all of hip hop, and all of hip hop is uncomfortable with this. Meanwhile, you got people like Ja Rule who, on the low key, allegedly, Gene Deal has exposed for having his own nude tryst freak-offs with Diddy.
Jaguar Wright claimed that the documentary was released by those trying to blame Sean Diddy Combs, which is why she refused to participate. She believed industry executives wouldn't release anything that could hurt them, and when she saw it, her fears were confirmed. None of Diddy's criminal associates were mentioned, and big names like People, Clive Davis, American music executive, American rapper, or Oprah Winfrey.
The story isn't over. I agree. Like, that's the thing. The story's not even being told. Because in order to tell the actual whole story, you would have to include everyone that is involved. But no, this is about saving the industry and blaming it all on Diddy. Saving the industry and blaming it all on Diddy. Okay, Diddy's going to jail. He's going to do his time. I don't know what that appeal is looking like right now. Because see, the one thing that all of this documentary shit is doing is definitely fucking up his possibility for an appeal to get out early. Especially with the judge and the appeal board having to look at the footage of him sitting there with Mark Agnifilo, pretty much working on how to fix the trial.
And for him to be watching the feds watching him.
Yeah, filming the feds.
Filming.
And directing.
Jaguar Wright believes that if the full list of those involved with Sean Diddy Combs ever came out, it could destroy the entertainment industry. Could Diddy really have done all of this alone?
If the complete and utter truth comes out, three things happen. The entertainment industry collapses completely. Millions, possibly billions of advertising dollars don't get made. People go broke. Companies go under. That's why they can hate me. Not because I'm telling the truth on people. Because I'm telling the truth about the system. And I'm showing people the reality that the only thing that matters is that dollar. These entities, these companies, they don't care about none of these people. They don't care about none of these victims. They don't care about the perpetrators. They don't care about the prey. Shit, half the time, they're encouraging the predator. They don't care. It's all about the money. See?
Sean Diddy Combs wants out before more charges are filed. His lawyers filed an appeal, arguing his 50-month sentence is too long since he was found innocent on several serious counts and should be reduced or dismissed.
Well, there's a new appeal from hip-hop mogul Sean Diddy Combs. His defense team is seeking his immediate release from federal prison, calling his 50-month sentence on charges of transportation for prostitution excessive. CB Cotton has the details live from our New York newsroom. Good to see you, CB.
Hey, Lydia. Well, once one of the most powerful names in hip-hop, Sean Diddy Combs is now behind bars at that federal facility in Fort Dix, New Jersey, but his legal team says he should have never been sent there for this long. So on Tuesday, in an 84-page filing, Combs' attorneys asked a New York federal appeals court to immediately release Combs and send the case back for a new sentencing or grant him an acquittal. In July, a jury found Combs guilty on 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution and acquitted him of the most serious charges, racketeering, conspiracy, and scheme. In the fall, the judge then sentenced Combs to a little more than 4 years behind bars.
If this appeal fails, no one knows what's next for Sean Diddy Combs. Over 100 civil lawsuits are pending, and even one with criminal implications could add years to his sentence. Diddy isn't built for long-term prison, and according to Gene Deal, a longer sentence could push him to take the easy way out.
Yeah, that makes sense. But you knowing Diddy personally, do you think it's possible he might take his life?
It takes a certain individual to prepare himself to do a lot of years in jail. From the lifestyle that he had, I'm not saying that he can't. I just don't see him able to do time behind bars. Maybe if he be in a camp type situation, that's a possibility. But based on the lifestyle and what he's done and what he's accomplished, if he had to go behind those bars for a lot of years, I think that he may commit suicide. He'd do an Epstein.
If new charges come up, more witnesses step forward, or his appeal is denied, Sean Diddy Combs' story could escalate quickly. Insiders suggest the biggest developments might still be ahead. What do you think? Does Diddy's appeal have a real shot? Or is this just the start of a much longer sentence? For updates as this unfolds, subscribe, turn on notifications, and stay tuned. This story is far from over.